Hello. Hello, hello. We will be getting started here shortly. There's the man. I'll mute you now. What's good, BB?
What's
Ready
the
to
word,
get this
baby?
thing
What's the word?
on the road?
Yes, sir. I'm out of breath just a little bit. I ran upstairs, ran downstairs. Had to grab some water.
All right, week one. Let's get
Yes,
it.
sir. Week one.
Welcome in, y'all. Welcome to the Inferno Hot Corner. Even though it says we're
Welcome to
dying.
the hot corner, man.
This is episode 1, week 1, first week of the NFL season after the draft. And now we are going live. This is your boy Biking Round, along with my co-host, the one and only Mr. Dreamer. How we doing, Mr. Dreamer?
Hey, so far so good, man. So far, it's been a hell of a week. I'm not gonna lie.
It was. We have a lot to talk about. There's some great football games, some great matchups in our league this week. Some heartbreak, some butt whoopings. I don't know. Where do you want to start, man? You want to start with some of the games? You want to start with some of the players, or are we going straight into the teams? How are we feeling?
I think we do a recap. I'm gonna be honest. So what you guys are gonna learn, chat, is honestly at this point in time, me and Bikey are just kind of going with the flow. You know what I mean? A lot of this show is gonna be improv. It's gonna be going off of just whatever we feel like at that point in time. So we're it's gonna get better as we go along. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Plan is to
I think
introduce
we
some stuff.
I think we realistically start with just a recap of how the league went for the week. Kind of match by match and just see the unfortunate downfalls of some people's teams and the rise ups of others. Bikey took a little bit of a hit this week, unfortunately. A little comeback coming from the boy Docile. You know what I mean? Bikey was talking a little to her.
I did say I might have jinxed it, and then jinx indeed. We got Piffin up in the chat. What's up, Aaron? Why only got 78? I don't know, man. It's all must be all your receivers. 78.
Yeah.
Wait, you got 78 too? I see Soap with 78 here. But yeah, before we get
Soap
started,
got hit, I ain't gonna lie.
yeah, before we get started, let's also remind you guys we are playing for some big prizes here, brought to you by our generous sponsors, Raising Cane's, Paradox Custom, Shure, and Zip Chair Gaming. We got some prizes going on. I'm gonna actually pull it up on here so I could recite it because there's so many of them. Let's pull it up here. Where's our gridiron post here? If you're not following Vegas Inferno on all the social channels, you can find us at Vegas Inferno everywhere on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We probably should. I'm pretty sure we had 2K on TikTok already, and all your various social media channels. I am going to find our thingy thing here. Give me 1 second. Technical difficulties. I should have had this pulled up already.
Thank you, sponsors. This is facts. We couldn't do any of this without our sponsors. I mean, we could, but it just wouldn't be as good. You know what I mean?
Definitely wouldn't be as good. The prizes are
always
amazing.
better. Production is better. Prizes are better when it comes to having some sponsors behind you. So shout out to all the sponsors once again. Raising Cane's, BR Paradox, Shure, and Zip Chair Gaming. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity.
Yep,
It's gonna
definitely.
be a whole lot of fun this year.
Over $2,000 worth in prizes, and it's going to the winning duo. Once I could find this dang prize thing. Where is it?
You want me to send it to you?
Yeah, you got the graphic?
I have it bookmarked, baby. Come on. Set the
Oh,
game
that's
up.
my bad. Let's see. I feel like I should have this already.
Send it to you in the. I'm just gonna go ahead and put it in the. Actually, give me a second. I'm gonna send it to you.
What's going on, Docile? Docile, I don't want to see you right now. What's up, Aaron? Yeah. I don't know, man. You're pretty far. You're pretty into Mr. Marvin Harrison Jr. You know, with his pedigree that he got and whatnot. But yeah, Mark Andrews. I feel you on that one. That one kind of hurt me. That kind of hurt me in one of my leagues. Luckily, I only dropped in one of my leagues.
Let's not get too deep into it, though.
Yeah, Caleb Williams.
For the show, all right, Chet?
Yeah. The show has started.
I sent you the thing in the DMs.
All right, which DMs? Facebook or Twitter? All right, let me pull this off real quick.
We're gonna pull it up on screen, but if you guys don't know the winners, and when I say winners, I mean the duo, the best duo, whoever wins out of the duos, right?
You're a bot, dude. This doesn't have the list of the. You just sent me the one he. Are you sure you didn't just send the one that he just posted?
Yeah, just no, I didn't.
All right, never. All right, cool.
Absolutely
there we go. All right, we got it.
Anyways, the best duo, meaning if either one, the community member and or the LVI creator wins, that means the duo in itself wins. That duo will be receiving one life-size Kane's Inferno plush, a Kane's box or a number of Kane's box combo gift cards. Not sure how many that is. That's all up to Kane's. An Inferno trophy presented by Kane's, which in my opinion is quite literally the best. The trophy
is what you want for sure.
You need the trophy. All this other stuff is great. You need the trophy. You know what I mean? They will be getting a one-time tailgate feeding of 10, which is lit for get you a little Super Bowl party
celebration party.
2 times Zip Chair gaming chairs, 2 times Sure items, and 2 BR Paradox keyboards. So a crazy amount of gifts going on, a crazy amount of prizes going on for the winning duo. So it's going to be a hell of a year. It's already started as a hell of a year. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, we had some heartbreaks, and I think it's about time that we get into those. Why don't we start with yours, Mikey?
Oh,
why don't you explain to us what happened?
Oh man! All right. So the first matchup of the week, I got it. It's up. So Docile. I will say heading into that Sunday night game between the Rams and the Lions, it did say I was somewhere around like a 90+% favorite. I'm just saying the team was
also had like a 5% chance to win.
Yeah. I was doing pretty well. We had my homies. He didn't do the best, but our guys put up numbers. Tony Pollard, surpassing his projection. DK Metcalf, not so hot. Travis Kelce, not so hot. Jaden Reed starting the week off hot for me, getting me off to a 35-point lead. Dallas defense, one of the best defenses in the league. I'm sure my counterpart would agree.
All right, say that again.
Dallas defense, one of the best defenses in the league.
The best defense in the league.
One of the best. The best week 1 for sure. But that Sunday night game came along. And, you got David Montgomery here leading a nice overtime drive for like 40 yards and a touchdown to increase his point total to 16 points. And you got Puka Nacua getting hurt early in the game, who is now out for 4 weeks, by the way, minimum on IR. But Cooper Kupp dropping 29 points, 21 targets for 14 receptions, 110 yards and a touchdown. And over on my side, we got the one and only, the amazing, the best receiver on the Detroit Lions, Mr. Amon-Ra St. Brown, putting up
Can I just make a note?
3 catches for 13 yards.
That is by far the biggest surprise to me when it comes to y'all's matchup, is the fact that Amon-Ra, and this is a consensus vote in my opinion. Amon-Ra is a first round pick. in every fantasy draft whatsoever, right? Unless, of course, you're doing some weird shit. For him to put up 3 for 6 and 13 yards, like even off 3 receptions, 13 yards. I mean, you're averaging what, like
4 yards,
6 yards, 4 yards per catch, 4.5, 4.25 at that point, right? So it's just like, I don't even know, man. Like 3 receptions for 13 yards. You've got to be that guy out there.
It's upsetting. It's upsetting. I don't think he had a bad game this bad all of last year. Look at this. All last year. His worst game was 3 catches for 21 yards, but the rest of them, way better than that. To start
crazy, off, but, weirdly enough, his counterpart at the end of the day, Jameson Williams.
Jameson Williams, Jameson Williams,
the boy went out there. The boy went out there and went crazy and gave us, 5 receptions on 9 targets for 121 yards and a touchdown. That's 24.2 yards per catch.
Yeah,
that's absolutely ridiculous, man. I don't even know somebody who drafted him. Defy drafted him.
He probably didn't start him. Did he start him?
Did he start him against me? I can't remember.
We'll find out. I mean, we'll get to your matchup.
We'll find out here.
We'll find out here. But anyways, congrats to Docile. He just needed 4 points from Mr. George Kittle, or 5 points from George Kittle in the Monday Night Football game, thanks to the heroic efforts of his David Montgomery Cooper Kupp, and he squeezes away with the 2.68 point victory, the closest matchup of the week over yours truly. Tough week 1. Great week 1 for you, Docile, though. Congratulations on the week 1. Putting me down a little bit there, but it's all right though.
I'm not mistaken. Docile came out with an award off of that too. What was it?
I don't know. I think here they're on the right side here. I think he got a Narrowest Victory Award. Best Manager.
Best Manager.
He set a lineup that was 98% of their perfect possible lineup. So shout out to Docile. Congrats on your awards there. We'll get it. Let's move on to our next matchup here. We have Mr. Tamer versus the one and only LVI Havoc. Everybody was pooping on Havoc's draft. The boy took Brock Purdy like 5th round. A few other questionable decisions. Derrick Henry with like the 9th pick.
There were definitely some questionable decisions.
Jimmy, you want to talk on this matchup here? It looks like Tamer put a beating on him. Tamer, one of the highest scoring, or the highest scoring team of the week, actually.
It's getting serious, Chad, when the glasses come off, right? Now. I'm going to be completely honest with you. If you've been watching fantasy or you've been doing fantasy for a long time, you know that at any point, especially in a full PPR, that if you score under 100 points, we have to have a conversation. That's a stinker for me. You know what I mean? So when we go through and we look at these, right, and we're looking at, Tamer absolutely blowing Havoc out by in the area of 38 points. That's a killer right there. On Tamer's side, we got Kyler Murray doing Kyler Murray things, a normal 15 points, 21 for 31, 162 yards and a touchdown, but more importantly, 5 carries for 57 yards. That offensive line's still pretty mediocre at best, sacked 4 times. It's going to bring his points down. But coming in with Jahmyr Gibbs, Jahmyr Gibbs does Jahmyr Gibbs things at the end of the day, right? But he's catching out of the backfield. So 4 receptions for 6 yards, 4 receptions for 34 yards, 11 carries for 40 yards and a touchdown. That's Jahmyr Gibbs things. Now let's talk about the shining star right here.
Player of the week.
The player, you know what? He might be a player of the week, but he's different. He's different because he's in Philadelphia, which. And that hurts for me to say, I'm not going to lie. But Saquon Barkley, 24 carries for 109 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 for 2 on receptions, 23 yards, and a receiving touchdown.
Yeah, 3 total touchdowns.
33.7 points, 3 total touchdowns.
The only player with 3 touchdowns ridiculous. Week 1.
Absolutely ridiculous. He's got Tank Dell. Tank Dell, in my opinion, was just slightly mediocre, but there's a lot of mouths to feed in that Houston offense.
Yeah.
George Pickens, in all honesty, kind of surprised me a little bit, especially with Justin Fields throwing the ball. I really didn't expect that 40-plus yard reception right there that gained him a couple extra points. But I mean, 6 for 7 with 85 yards.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
pulling up
he's kind of their
decent
primary
numbers.
target out there, in my opinion. So I
No
mean,
doubt.
you
Let's
know, even though their team might not be able to throw for many yards, you know, most of the yards are going to go to him.
For sure. Let's talk about the rookie though. Let's talk about Brock Bowers.
I like that pickup.
Right?
He was nice. He looked nice.
I really like Brock Bowers. I've liked him out of college, and I like him now. In all honesty, he needs some time to develop a little bit. Obviously, he doesn't really have much of a quarterback. It's kind of difficult over there over here in Vegas right now when it comes to the Raiders. But 6 for 8, 58 yards. Like he's going to be a big target on the opposite side of Devontae.
Yeah.
So
he might have been one of the leading. He might have been the leading tight end actually, because pretty much all the tight ends throughout the league kind of took a shit, scoring wise. So I mean,
he was not the leading tight end, and we'll get to that here in a minute. We'll
Kyle
get to
Pitts.
we'll get to that here in a minute. But
he's one of the top. He's definitely in the top. He's top 2 at least.
We know who the leading tight end was this week, but we'll talk about that in a minute because that is one of my big waiver pickups that I'm talking about.
That's true. You know, I guess started tight end.
We'll say started.
Yeah, started tight end. I'm pretty sure nobody had this guy on their radar. But
that's true.
Yeah. We'll see we'll come to it when we see who started him. Which
most definitely.
But yeah, his team's pretty well rounded. I mean, obviously, you know, he went with the four back strat off the rip for his draft. Fortunately for him, his 3 backs that he was able to start all scored above projected with Gibbs, Barkley, and Rashad White. You know, kicker, defense. I mean,
when you're looking at a team where you have like Kenneth Walker on the bench, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like you quite literally have Rashad White, Saquon Barkley, and Jahmyr Gibbs. You know, Rashad being in that flex spot, and then you have Kenneth Walker with 20 carries, 103 yards, and a touchdown on the bench, putting up 19 points.
And even backup running back Madison also put up some points.
Yeah, Madison put up his fair share of points, especially in the receiving game, more or less. Now this is one of my shining stars, in all honesty. That boy Jaden Daniels, rookie quarterback coming into Washington. You know, did he throw a lot? You know what I mean? Kind of right there in the Kyler Murray stat line, 17 for 24, 184 yards.
But his legs.
But the biggest thing is going to be this kid's legs, man. 16 carries for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. You know what I mean? Didn't get sacked a lot either, which is crazy because that Washington offensive line they still got some growing to do there. You know what I mean? So, but that's going to be one of the shining stars there. I have him on one of my other teams. Absolutely just turned up for me at 28 points. So, when we look over at this Havoc team, though, man, I mean, Purdy was brought in really early. I mean, he gave him 10. It's not like he really shit the bed, but like, you know, he gave him 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He got that early touchdown. Didn't do anything after that, though. It was a kind of a Lamar Jackson show on the running game.
I mean, 19 for 29 at the end of the day, but you know, when you turn around and Ayuk plays minimal snaps, if I'm not mistaken, I checked earlier, and Ayuk only played 60% of the snaps on the field. And you know, you have Debo at, you know, I mean, he carried the ball 8 times with, you know, let's talk about CMC not being in that lineup. You know, last minute CMC is not in the lineup. A lot of people weren't expecting it.
Defy.
And yeah, Defy. And I still, well, we're not going to talk about it yet. But 8 carries for 23 yards, 5 for 9, you know, reception wise. Like, you know, Debo really kind of ran that show with Ayuk not really being a factor. We could talk about the Derrick Henry thing a little bit. You know, realistically, Derrick Henry is not going to be as influential fantasy wise as he usually would be with, you know, when he was with Tennessee. And that's simply because at the end of the day, he doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to be that guy in Baltimore. There are a lot of faces, a lot of guys, and you know, even receiving wise, Justice Hill is going to be that back out of the backfield that's going to be receiving the ball. So, you know, if you're looking for a possible, you know, just shot in the dark waiver wire pickup, maybe look Justice Hill's ways, you know, just for the sake of receiving. You know, as always, Kamara did Kamara things. This one hurt me. I'm not going to lie. Terry McLaurin.
Oh, McLaurin?
Terry McLaurin hurt my freaking soul, man.
I don't know, man. McLaurin, I just feel like since his rookie season, you know, came out on the scene pretty solid. You know, he just hasn't really produced since then, and even last year in fantasy, and off to
I
the
don't know.
side
He
this
was
year.
scary last year,
Yeah,
man.
he
Scary
was
Terry was
okay.
pretty scary last year.
Yeah, we could look at his, you know, rankings. I mean,
we can go ahead and pull it up from last year.
I guess not his
But if
rookie
I'm not
season, but you know,
mistaken,
he was
2023, he
yeah.
puts up. I
He
mean, it
just
was a
crossed
1,000-yard
1,000-yard
receiving
receiving. Yeah,
season, 4
just
touchdowns, 12.68 yards per catch. Like he was a guy last year. Even 2022, you know, 77 receptions, top 15 at his position, 15 yards per catch. Like he's been a dog since he came into the league, in my opinion.
yeah. I just don't think he's, you know, he's not a wide receiver one. You know, he just doesn't get enough targets in the end zone. You know, I mean, he probably can put up similar numbers. We'll see though with Mr. Daniels. Mr. Daniels is gonna be running a lot. I think he's almost a run first quarterback like a lot of these other guys.
I think we found our first disagreement of the year, Chad. Me and Bikey are not going to agree on that.
You think Terry McLaurin's gonna finish in the top 25 in receivers?
You know, I don't know if he does this year, and that's simply because the dynamic has changed in Washington. For the longest time, it was a pass-first offense after the whole RG3 fiasco, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you end up with guys like Sam Howell, and you end up with guys like Heineke and so on and so forth.
I like Sam Howell personally.
You know, okay. I liked Heineke. I'm not gonna lie, he was a dog. He had some, you know, some big dog in him. You know what I mean? Little guy, big dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you end up with guys like that who are just going to air it out to you, that's when Scary Terry becomes Scary Terry. The difference is now Jaden Daniels is going to take off and move with the ball. And there's a reason why, like, say the Ravens wide receivers have never really been a factor in fantasy, right? And that's because Lamar is going to take off and run with the ball at least 5 to 8 times a game, minimum. So yeah. I think it's going to be the same thing with Jaden Daniels. I think Daniels still needs to get his footing. And we'll see what happens when he does. But he also needs to get the feel. Like when these rookies come into the league, they need to find their safety blanket. And I think that it's going to take anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks for him to find out who he can trust on the field. Because you can do it in practice all day long, but when you get under those lights, man, it's going to be a different story. So, give him some time. So there's a lot of mouth speed.
So are we in? Wait, so are you with me or are you disagreeing with me then that I said that Terry McLaurin was a bad pick? I mean, just to defend Havoc though, he did get him in the 8th round, so I wouldn't say that's 8th round is solid. I'm just saying that, you know, he's a flex at best, in my opinion, for the season.
I'll put him in the flex situation. Flex at best. All honesty. I think he had it turned around a little bit, where he put Drake London in the flex and Terry McLaurin in the wide receiver too.
Speaking of other bad picks, too, man. Speaking of other bad picks, I mean, it is only week 1. It is only week 1, but you know, Drake London here, selected in I want to say the second round. Yeah, second round, second pick of the second round. I mean, he does have Kirk Cousins, but he is coming off of a torn Achilles. He should be the number 1 target over there, but he only got 3 targets this week. It is only week 1. Pittsburgh, you know, notoriously has a pretty good defense.
Got more targets than Drake London did.
You're probably right.
I'm not gonna lie to you, but 2 receptions for 15 yards. You know, you just got to give, like, this kid's going to have a good year. Drake London's going to have a good year, and that's why it surprised me. He's definitely going to have a great year. I don't want to spend too much more time on this particular matchup, but I will say a big loss fantasy-wise for Havoc is going to be that loss to Jake Ferguson for the time being with that MCL sprain. He said he is, you know, scheduled to work with, you know, return to play group on Wednesday. So he's kind of jumping back to it kind of quick, which tells me that MCL isn't the worst thing in the world right this second. But he does have a little MCL, you know, situation going on.
So Havoc will definitely be looking at the waiver wire. He has no spare tight ends on his bench. He does say, listen, he's kind of sounds like he said he's banking on Michael Penix Jr. To take over starting over Kirk, and I doubt it. They paid Kirk a bag.
Absolutely not. You're not handing Kirk Cousins a bag and then bringing in the fact that they even drafted Penix is just a shot in the dark at the very least.
Yeah,
You
if
know what I mean?
anything,
Like,
you know, they're hoping maybe he'll learn under him for a bit. You know,
they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to
yeah,
pull an Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre thing. Like they're not gonna have a
yeah.
choice there. I just
Well,
hope that Penix doesn't get lost in the mixture, to be honest. But you know, we'll see what happens.
Well, just quick rewards for out of these two guys in here. We have Mr. Tamer being the overachiever. He projected 114 points and he overachieved it by 17%. So shout out to him there. Havoc, I don't think he got any awards, unfortunately. But you know, I wouldn't say it's deserved either. So, but it's okay though. You know, you got time to turn around your season. You know, rough draft. But who knows? You make it up on the waiver wire, which we'll get to here. Let's move over to our third matchup, a close one. And I'll let Dreamer talk on this one. I will say before you speak that Defy was actually named worst manager of the week as he set up terrible with no McCaffrey. We had starting.
Absolutely ridiculous, man. I'm assuming you have my game up on the screen right now. We got the Las Vegas Cream Team. You heard? Hashtag Cream Team in the chat, y'all heard? Against LVI Defy. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all, right? Now let's look at Josh Allen for a quick second right here. Okay, Josh Allen gets literally QB of the week. Go look at the reward or the awards. He got QB of the week. Okay, absolutely killed it. 33.56 points, 18 for 23, 232 yards, 2 touchdowns, 9 carries, 39 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like
4 total touchdowns.
Here's the funny part. I think it was about halfway through the second quarter, almost to the half, he had negative 0.6 points for me. I shit you not. I was crying absolute tears, right? And then turns up for 33 in the second half. That's fucking crazy. But I decided to match him up with James Cook, which, you know, it panned out correctly. I mean, I wish I could have got more out of Cook, but 19 carries, 71 yards. If he could have gotten the end zone, that would have been fantastic. It would have been 20 plus out of 1.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a double-edged sword. I mean, it's absorbed by Allen if he doesn't get it. You know what I mean?
Facts. The thing is this man, Anthony Richardson, is an absolute dog. Now it's weird, right? 9 for 19. That means he only completed 9 passes the entirety of the game.
Yep. Shout out Michael Pittman Jr.
212 yards in that 9 passes. That's crazy. 2 touchdowns. It's not even Pittman at that point. It was Alec Pierce.
I know. That's why I shout out Michael Pittman Jr. for not getting anything.
Holy shit, brother! 2 touchdowns. He did throw a pick, but you know, whatever.
And then he does his work on the ground too. Mobile quarterbacks.
3 completions over 40 plus, 2 touchdowns over 50 plus, and that's why it shoots up from there. 6 carries, 56 yards, and a touchdown. Like this kid is a dog. He's resilient, but I think that's going to hurt him later in the year if he can't complete more than 9 passes in a game. I mean, at that point in time, dude, you're playing the Houston Texans defense, which, in my opinion, last year one of the best defenses in the league. You know, with D'Amico Ryans going over there, I think they're a little lackluster right now. It is only week 1. We'll chill, but they're a little lackluster. So we'll see how Anthony Richardson, he's kind of my guy to watch over the next 2-3 weeks. Now let's get to the running backs a little bit. I had Zamir White. I honestly believed in him a little more than what happened.
I did also.
13 carries, 44 yards, 2 for 2, 2 yards. He lost a fumble, so it brought him down a little bit, but 4 points, man. You got to give me more than 4. You got to give me 10 something, man. Like, help me. You know what I mean?
Help me.
We go over to this side, and we're not even going to talk about this guy right here. McCaffrey.
Oh, man.
You know, yeah, he did with the MCL sprain. Achilles turning around. If I'm not, or
Achilles tendonitis.
Achilles. So it's coming out that it's Achilles tendonitis, which could affect him for coming weeks. To be honest, let me look at the situation that I'm seeing right here.
Unlikely to play week 2. So you know, those of you that stashed
missing 2 straight games. That's crazy. So that's a big stash on that boy Jordan Mason. Whoever went and picked him up. Which I don't know who did that.
I think Aaron has him probably.
Aaron
which is
Evans.
yeah, he was on top of this thing. I was able to swoop up in one of my leagues, but yeah, he's pretty much taken in a lot of leagues ever since there was that questionable tag on McCaffrey. Josh Jacobs, Josh Jacobs actually was having a really bad game against Philly, but luckily in the second half he was able to turn it up and salvage, 16 carries for 84 yards. He wasn't able to punch a ticket to the end zone, which would have helped me out on a few of my parlays out over this weekend. But he salvaged enough points, around 12 points, still under his projected. I honestly feel like this is one of his worst games, I guess, for a situation. But I think I still like him as a running back. On Defy's side, even though he was able to squeeze away with the win, I think his running back situation is nice, albeit depending on McCaffrey right now. Ayuk, the wide receiver matchup, Ayuk really didn't play a well game. You mentioned it earlier. AJ Brown doing AJ Brown things.
Much, man. 5 for 10, 119 yards is up there.
Yeah.
Ayuk had the minimal snaps, so you can't really expect too much from him at the end of the day.
Was he on a snap count, or why? Do you know why he got?
He was. They had him on a snap count just because he wasn't working out with the team at all while he was on holdout. So they had him on a snap count. It wasn't like a CD Lamb situation where CD was doing private workouts at the same time, as holding out. Ayuk quite literally didn't practice with anybody. He might have been working out, but he wasn't practicing, right?
Yeah.
So like you have him on that snap count simply just because. The same way like Jamar Chase, they didn't put him on a snap count. You see how that worked out. Didn't really work out the most amazing. So
yeah, you got those training camps. Not bad. Training camps are important.
Yeah, you got to get that, that camaraderie. You have to get the reps in. You have to get just get comfortable with your teammates, and he didn't have that.
Yeah. Garrett Wilson, he did majority of his damage on that touchdown, first touchdown drive that the Jets had. After that, kind of disappeared. You know why? Because Alan Lazard, who knows, Lazard might be a popular waiver wire pickup this week as well. He does have his rapport with the one and only Aaron Rodgers that he had over in Green Bay. I do want to shout out my parlay that I hit, picking Lazard for 40 plus and a touchdown. Garrett Wilson still is the number one target there, though. He still had 11 targets. Just wasn't able to punch it in there. It wasn't really a good game.
Garrett Wilson, man, but he hurts my soul by not being like, you catch one more pass for like 20 more yards, and I'm Gucci here. You know what I mean? Like, you're my last player coming into this Monday night. I find out McCaffrey doesn't play and Ayuk's on a snap minimal. You know what I mean? So
you're gonna close the gap.
Wilson, give me something. All of a sudden, I'm 104 to 108. Like, brother, you gave me 4 more points. We're golden, baby.
Yeah, it is against the San Francisco defense. San Francisco is probably, I still think they're still the most complete team in the NFL, as much as it hurts me to say.
I hate hearing that, but it's the truth.
Yeah. Jalen Waddle on the other side there, though. Jalen Waddle, 1,000+ yard receiving last season, and he's off to a good start here. 109 yards receiving off 5 receptions. Even with Tyreek Hill getting arrested and coming in and being the leading receiver, we still have Jalen Waddle coming through.
Spread misinformation. He was detained. He was stopped. Calais Campbell was detained too, and nobody even talked about that.
Yeah, I know. I saw in a couple posts.
He stopped behind the cruiser and then went up and tried to confront them, and he got detained too. It was fucking crazy. Teammate though. Kyle Pitts started off really slow. I only know because I had him on a couple of my other teams. But 3 for 3, 26 yards and a touchdown. Kind of, he saved it a little bit. Goddard, of course, on that Friday game or whatever, kind of hoed me a little bit. It happens. This one hurt my soul.
Amari Cooper, though.
9 targets.
Deshaun Watson.
And this is why I will always say anything other than Houston Deshaun Watson is ass.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson, he's kind of, we thought last year, is his knock off the rest of the year. And coming into this year, there's high expectations for him, but not so good start.
Oh, Flacco. Where's he at? Go get Couch Potato Joe. Throw him the fuck in there. Get the whole contract out of there. I know Deshaun Watson had, $230 million or something like that before Dak just signed his contract. Shout out to Dak, by the way. You know what I mean? Cowboy for life. But where is Joe Flacco at, man? Where's he at? Because this ain't it. 2 for 9, and I guarantee at least 6 of those like lost out receptions were bullshit. Like they were probably underthrown, overthrown. I'd have to go back and watch it.
Uncatchable,
Like,
uncatchable. I was watching Deshaun Watson. His accuracy is just not what it once was.
don't get me wrong, I'm a Cowboys fan. Love to see it. Okay, but at the end of the day, I need fucking points. I was praying, absolutely praying for a garbage time touchdown against my team.
Yeah,
Just a garbage time touchdown. Give me something, brother.
Yeah, Amari Cooper got outscored by Cowboys kicker by 13 points.
Amari Cooper got outscored by Justin Tucker by 4.
Yeah,
and Tucker was 2 for 3. like, come on, man. Dude, Amari Cooper almost got outscored by the Chiefs defense, and they allowed 20 points and 452 yards. Like, come on, man.
You know, I wonder how many points Aubrey would have got if he would have been able to attempt that 71-yard field goal. After
that would have been crazy.
He made the 66 easy, but they iced him, or they called the timeout or whatever. And
dude, I was praying. I say let him kick it.
I know.
Just let him kick it. Yeah. Why not? We're kicking the shit out of him. Let him go.
Yeah.
Like, have fun. You know what I mean? Like, Aubrey is by far, in my opinion, the best. And this is not biased. This is literal stats. For some reason, the Dallas Cowboys have a hell of a time pulling kickers. You know what I mean? Going from if you guys know anything about Cowboys history, you know we go from big leg to big leg to big leg. You go from Dan Bueller to
Dan Bailey
to there was one right after that. He wasn't there very long, so I can't remember his name. But then you go straight off of Dan Bailey to another guy to Brandon Aubrey, and all these motherfuckers can kick. I mean, don't sleep in the chat. Stop sleeping on me. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, they can all kick, man. 4 for 4, 2 field goals over 40 to 49, 2 field goals from 50 to 59, 50 plus, and then 3 for 3 on extra points. This is the best kicker in the NFL. Shout out to Justin Tucker. Love the guy. He's earned his right. But Brandon Aubrey is by far the best kicker.
He's up next. He's up next.
He's that guy, man.
Yeah, your defense can do too hot. Kansas City only 3 points there.
I got shit on.
Allowing 450 yards of offense. Tampa Bay outscoring the Kansas City defense by 7 points there. You had a lot of opportunities there. I mean, Defy was trying to lose that game, bro.
Dude, he couldn't have thrown that game.
No McCaffrey. Ayuk pooped the bed.
Jameson on the bench for 26.
DeAndre Swift is a flex. You know, it's just your team just underperformed. Jameson Williams on the bench. Yep. But
I couldn't have asked for any better. Let's go ahead and move on to the next game. My team absolutely shit the bed. Still put up 104. Right. I would have beat Havoc. I would have beat Soap. I would have beat Aaron. Holy shit, Aaron. We're not going to talk about that.
We'll get there.
But let's move on to the next.
All right. Moving on. We're moving on to our community members. Those were our 3 matchups of LVI members. The first matchup from our 6 community members, we got my boy Mr. B Piven,
my boy,
an ass whooping on Mr. Soap Tastes Okay. Is that your boy? Sorry,
Soap texted me after this and said, "Fuck Olave, fuck Burrow."
Not gonna lie, that looks like the summary of his week there. Olave and Burrow.
When you got a top
underperforming,
putting up 8 points, man. What else can you do? And it's not even his fault. The man went 21 for 29. He couldn't get it in the end zone, man. Could not get it in the end zone.
Yeah, and then Piffin with his Tua Hill #1 pick. Tyreek Hill, great pick by my partner here, Mr. B, and stacking it with the Tua combo, doubling up on that. The Ramondre Stevenson show, that went on. We know Mondre. Shout out to him, man. I think obviously great start to his season right there. 25 carries, 120 yards, and a touchdown.
So many people told me to stay away from Ramondre in fantasy, right? And I told those people.
People typically want to stay away from New England running backs.
Yeah, they do. But you know what? This is the first New England running back, in my opinion, since I don't even know
Marshall
when,
Faulk.
honestly. Like,
Marshall Faulk.
Yeah, and I'm not glazing Chad. You guys might call glaze on this because he's a friend of mine. But at the end of the day, like he runs with a purpose. 25 carries, 120 yards, and a touchdown. 3 for 3 for 6 yards. Like he runs with a purpose. He's there for a reason, and he believes in that offense behind Mayo. At the end of the day, I mean that Patriots running game, if they get a good number 2 punch, I know Antonio Gibson is there, but if they get a really good number 2 punch, that's going to be a little scarier. I'm not going to lie. They got to give him the ball though.
Hey, they pulled off the upset against the highly thought of Bengals, who are off to an 0-1 start there. Not a great start for them.
Yeah, that's a big upset. I'm not gonna lie. Let's commend Piffin though for that number 1 pick, because the consensus number 1 pick in literally every draft is always CMC, right? But this man slid by CMC to grab Tyreek Hill, and then turns around and grabs Tua in the 9th to pair him up. And now CMC's dealing with an Achilles. This man Piffin knew something. He knew something.
Yeah. He must have known some insider information. Not gonna lie, we fade CMC in this household. So in our community, we fade CMC. Not just because I'm a Packers fan and don't like the Niners, but I just didn't project. I mean, aside from the injury, I just didn't project him. I don't think he could repeat what he did last year. Last year was an insane year for him. And I feel like running backs you might be able to get away with, but there's not really many wide receivers like Tyreek Hill, in my opinion.
Really not. I mean, it's Tyreek Hill, CD Lamb, and Justin Jefferson, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
That is about it, in my opinion. You can throw AJ Brown kind of in the conversation, and then you go Amon-Ra, but I mean, like when you're talking about consistency, you're talking about Tyreek, Justin, and
week 1 glaze. Week 1 glaze. Yes, we will repeat that. It is only week 1 though. Shout out to our boy Amon-Ra that you just mentioned, and Mr. Chris Olave here, putting up some duds. First, second round draft picks.
This one hurts a little bit because how are you absolutely kicking the shit out of Carolina?
Yeah, and only get 2 targets.
Number 1 wide receiver, 2 targets, and he went 2 for 2. He didn't drop nothing. 2 for 2, 5.5 yards per catch. Like he's there, And if I'm not mistaken, he played 79% of the snaps.
So
79%.
He must not have just been getting open. Derek Carr just was fading him all day. He's like, you know what?
I don't think there's any excuse for not feeding your number 1 wide receiver. I just don't think there's
2 targets is pretty inexcusable in a 47-10 ass whooping. Devontae Adams, obviously new quarterback. We talked about the struggles of the Vegas Raiders. He looked like he made the most out of what he had though. 5 of 6 for 59 yards. Devontae Smith, solid number 2. He's kind of like, I feel like Devontae Smith is like the Jalen Waddle over in Philly, where AJ Brown can't always get the ball and somebody else has to, and Devontae Smith is that guy over there.
If he could have got in the end zone, that would have been a big day for him.
Yeah, that would have been huge. A couple tight end dubs over here with Cole Kmet and Evan Ingram, both putting up 8 point. 8 point. Evan Ingram, I guess, gets the edge with 3 more targets that he didn't convert on.
Olave got the same amount of fucking catches as both of them combined.
Yeah, I gotta say, man, Mike Evans is Mr. Reliable. I'm trying to see what he. Pim picked him up in the 3rd round. I was gonna say he would have been my 3rd round pick if he would have got back to me, but Mike Evans, he seems to just defy age. He's in his 9th season. He's had over 1,000 yards receiving every single season, and he's just a touchdown magnet.
On top of that, let's talk about Mayfield.
Yeah,
man.
Shout out Baker Mayfield. 4 TDs.
You've got Cleveland that just gives up on this guy, right? And at the end of the day, like this guy is fearless. He will throw. I've always been a big fan of quarterbacks that'll just throw it up there. The Brett Favres, the Tony Romos, the Peyton Mannings, the Matt Ryans, Kirk Cousins, Phillip Rivers, like these type of quarterbacks that'll just let me just put it up there and give him a chance. And that is exactly what Baker Mayfield is. He puts it up there for Mike Evans the same way Johnny Manziel used to do at Texas A&M with him. A hot take, maybe not a hot take. The only reason Manziel was even relevant is because of that guy right there. Okay. 5 for 6, 61 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Efficient.
And he was absolutely head topping people. You know, so
Yep.
Mike
Unfortunately.
Evans is Mr. Reliable.
Yeah, I love Mike Evans, man. He's good. Great pickup from my boy Piffin there. On your side, you got Mr. Michael Pittman Jr., who actually, now that I think about it, with Anthony Richardson only throwing 19 times and connecting on 9, Pittman absorbed 50% share of everything, basically. So, I mean, obviously not his day, only 31 yards receiving, but, there's some potential there if Anthony Richardson could increase his accuracy a little bit and maybe throw the ball a little bit more.
This is facts.
I still like Michael Pittman. I have him in another league too. Just didn't perform. It's only week 1. We're trying to be easy on these guys. But yeah,
let's do a quick run through the benches. Aaron Jones, 14 carries, 94 yards, got him on the bench.
Jerome Ford as well.
In my opinion, I think I would have had Aaron Jones in over Singletary when it comes to Piffin, but
he's a Giants fan.
130.
He's a Giants fan.
And just that Giants offensive line, we know they can't protect, we know they can't run block. Come on. At the end of the day, I would have put Aaron Jones in over there.
Definitely.
Jerome Ford, he didn't really necessarily surprise me, but he's the number 1 option over there right now. So
6 to 7 on receptions too. That PPR is PPR, and
gotta look for him a little bit, right? On the other side, we've got Austin Eckler, 2 carries, 10 yards, but he's got that 4 for 4, 52 yards, puts him up there a little bit. Austin Eckler's always been a receiving back.
I'm telling you, Eckler's going to take over running back 1 sometime this season. He's taking over. Brian Robinson's all right. Jane Daniels going to be running a lot, but I think Eckler's going to be the higher scoring back between the two. Even if he doesn't get the primary carries, Eckler's gonna do better in fantasy.
Robinson won me over when he came back from unfortunately getting shot. Obviously, unfortunately, and came back out into Washington and their stadium to 50 cents many men. Okay, he's a dog for that. He won me over. I don't think Eckler takes that number 1 spot. I think Eckler, in his 8th season at this point. At the end of the day, he's that guy, but even his last season in LA last year, 628 yards. I know he was hurt, but
he's literally 1 season removed from being the number 1.
Yeah, but that's number 1 off receptions
in the league.
Man. That's number 1 off receptions.
In the league,
100 receptions for 722 yards. Cool, go do that.
Number 2 the year before. Number 1.
But as a 3-down running back, you don't have a 1,000-yard rushing season. Not 1. As a 3-down running back.
Well, that's why he's a TD. He's a TD animal. He's a target animal. Look at. When
you're talking about a receiving back, man, you go back to something like CMC, and this guy has been killing it for years on years on years. 1,400 yards last year with 500 reception yards. That is your running back 1 receiving back. You come back to a Austin Eckler and you're producing less than 1,000 yards and less than 1,000 yards in receiving. You're not a running back 1 in this league anymore. You're just not. You're up there in age. You're getting old, man.
I'll tell you right now, if you clip it, he's gonna score more fantasy points than Brian Robinson. I don't care how he does it. Maybe in a PPR game, he's scoring more fantasy points season long than Brian Robinson. Hear me out.
I do want to make a slight comment on this game. Obviously, it was a blowout, but when I look at Keenan Allen, 4 for 11, 29 yards, that hurts my soul a little bit, man, because I was watching that game. And frankly, let's talk about Caleb Williams just a little bit, man. The number 1 pick in the draft, not fantasy, but the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, and he comes out just absolutely flat. Saved by the defense, saved by special teams.
Oh my God, I can't believe they won that game. Quite literally
overthrew Keenan Allen on 3 different touchdowns that I saw alone. 4 for 11, and I'm guessing at least 4 to 5 of those were just overthrown, underthrown, whatever it may be. So it was hard to watch. That was a hard watch.
Hopefully that was their worst game, though. You never know, because Caleb Williams' first official NFL game, first number 1 draft pick to win their first game of their first start. Not because of him, but that is the stat line that was announced there. I think I would give it, if I had Caleb Williams, I'd still give him 3 or 4 weeks to see if he could bounce back. I honestly think that he's gonna have a good week next week, just as a bounce back to like it couldn't have been any worse this week kind of thing, and they still won. But yeah, we'll see about that
next week.
I don't know actually. What did we just see? Let me see. I could go over there.
I'll go straight to them. Real quick.
They're going to Houston. They're going to Houston. Yep.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't think they come out with that win.
I don't think they win, but I think that he does better.
And we'll see. We'll see if he can shake off the jitters.
You know, maybe seeing CJ Stroud will inspire him to be a little bit better too, because CJ Stroud had an amazing rookie campaign.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
We got what, 2 more games to get through real quick?
We got Mr. Slick Kicks versus OBG Medic, who's I assume Slick Kicks is part of the Tamer Tots, as you can tell by his profile pic. OBG Medic, is he part of is that Dossel's?
I'm not mistaken.
Dossel's man?
Medic is part of Dossel's. Yeah.
Dossel's man's. This one was, both teams put up over 100 points. CDs, winning by 24. Medic came out with a hot start. Lamar Jackson putting up 28 points for him there. Good showing from Joe Mixon. On the other side, you have CJ Stroud and A-Chain, also pretty good showings, shooting their projecteds or a little over.
Now, just to go straight to the elephant in the room, if I'm going to be honest, everything's pretty much even. Aside from Nakua getting injured early and Collins taking over that.
Yeah.
But the big elephant in the room, if anybody tells you that kickers and defenses don't fucking matter, they're full of shit. Moody with 21 points to Fairbairn's 12.5. Minnesota defense with 23 to the New York Jets 0.
Yeah, that's huge.
They single-handedly won him this game.
That's huge.
If they do not perform like that, he does not win this game. He left Xavier Worthy on the bench.
Mm-hmm. This is why I nerf kickers. I'm telling you, Dreamer. This is why I nerf kickers in my leagues.
Hey, you know what? I tried to, and then they got mad at me. Xavier left on the bench. Brian Robinson did Brian Robinson things for 17. There wasn't much coming off of Medic's bench, unfortunately. He got a good showing out of Mixon, Lamar, Collins, but other than that, his team just kind of fell flat. Especially in the tight end and flex department.
Pretty ballsy to have Jamar Chase on the bench too, I think, for week 1.
Yeah, that is ballsy. But
wasn't that his first round pick? That was his first pick, and he had him on the bench. Interesting play.
Well, realistically, we didn't even know he was going to play. So.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, we didn't know he was going to play until like hours before kickoff.
I mean, good for him. He didn't score. He didn't pop off too much, I guess. Like his potential wasn't. Even if he started his most efficient lineup, he still wouldn't have been able to catch up to Mr. Stick Kicks here.
He did what he could.
Yeah. So Team Tater Tots starting off with 2-0, huh?
Don't remind me. We're never gonna hear the end of it.
It's only week 1, though. It's only week 1.
Ain't that the truth? All right, let's move on to our last game. That is Agons against Aaron. Aaron putting up under 100 points, and like I said before, guys, when I see under 100 points in fantasy, you said what?
No, I was making sure. I was just confirming that your shades were off. Just you took them off for Havoc's sub 100.
Oh yeah. I've been, the shades have been off for a cool little minute here.
That's part of Havoc's community. Aaron is part of Defies.
Yeah, I believe so.
Nice.
Speaking of Caleb Williams, we got Caleb Williams here. Very underwhelming. 14 for 29, 93 yards, less than 100 yards passing. It's the number 1 pick. You can't do that. He got himself a 2-point conversion to DeAndre Swift, which barely helped Swift's points. 5 carries, 15 yards. You didn't even really use your legs like that. So, you weren't influential in a lot of places that you needed to be as the number 1 pick. On the other side, you got Mr. Do-It-All, Jalen Hurts, 20 for 34, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns.
He had a bad game, too.
Which I love to see.
Yeah, a couple picks and a fumble.
But he put up, 13 carries for 33 yards and a couple long touchdowns. So, that saved him. We got James Conner doing James Conner things. 15 carries for 50 yards and a touchdown. A couple receptions, averaged about 11 yards per catch. Brees Hall, Brees all things. Not even going to go through the stats because that's really just what's expected of him.
What you expect out of him. Karen Williams didn't have the best game, but going up against Tajay Spears there, Tony Pollard eating up most of the work over there. They thought there was some thought that Tajay Spears was gonna be the primary back, but we'll see. It's only week 1, but I think Tony Pollard
thought Tajay Spears was.
Yeah, people were questioning my Tony Pollard pick. I'm just saying, but it's only week 1, though. I don't want to jinx it.
I did question whether or not Tony Pollard was built for that running back 1 spot. He didn't see a lot of benefit in the running back 1 spot in Dallas, and it's really just as simple as him maybe needing a new system. I think that Titan system runs off a lot of counters, a lot of pulling centers, and so on and so forth. That center will pull a lot. Whereas the Cowboys, we pulled our guards a lot, and maybe he just needed a new system to run behind. He honestly benefited from it.
Yeah, Pippen doesn't think Caleb is a starting fantasy quarterback right now. I agree. I think we agree on that. I think he needs a few weeks to kind of settle in, but I think that he will, similar to Justin Fields' rookie year, where he'll kind of catch his stride going into it. Hopefully, if he's as good as they say he is.
I'm rooting for the kid.
Yeah. Stephon Diggs, man, good pick here from Aaron. Obviously, a lot of people staying away from him. There's so many weapons out in Houston, but he catches 2 touchdowns.
Dude, he's gonna get his play regardless. He's gonna get fed regardless at some point.
Yeah, and then he got him in the 3rd round too, so that's pretty good pickup there. We got Rashee Rice also putting up some points. I don't know if he got Rashee Rice in the 6th round. Oh, that's pretty solid.
Yeah, people are staying away from him because he might not be around long due to his ongoing situation. So people are kind of staying away from him.
Yeah, I think
this thing, you put it together.
Yeah, I mean the huge thing here, I guess, is actually the best defense in football for week 1. Not the Dallas Cowboys, but the Chicago Bears putting up 30, getting 2 touchdowns, literally winning the game for the Bears, putting the team on their back. 30 points from the defense here. That's insane. I mean, New Orleans also put up 19 points. I mean, he wasn't not like our last matchup where there was like a 30-point difference between the two. But every point matters in this league. Kickers and defenses, they matter too. A lot of people tend to leave them for the last couple rounds, but some people go around early and it pays off. I think for Aaron here, obviously the key is that he took many risks having 2 rookies on his roster, Caleb Williams and Mr. Marvin Harrison Jr. Obviously Mark Andrews, we didn't think he was going to be as bad as he is as we get into our waiver wire pickups of the week.
Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I want to start a new segment here for the weeks going forward. All right. And it's usually going to happen when we get to the end of this. And I want to call this segment Shitter of the Week. All right. Now my Shitter of the Week. And it's, it's not even his fault.
With a family-friendly version.
Is there? Do we have to be family friendly? I mean,
I don't know. Let's ask Raising Cane's.
Oh, true. We'll go stinker of the week. All right. My stinker of the week, and it's not even his fault, realistically. Marvin Harrison Jr. is highly touted coming into this season. I mean, just go back and look at his past, and look at what he did at Ohio State. And also look at his dad, look at his family. This guy's a baller, man. He's a baller. But at the end of the day, he has to get the ball thrown to him. You can't have this guy that you went out and really put in the effort to go get him.
Only 3 targets.
And send him 3 targets. 1 for 3 for 4 yards just isn't it. You have got to feed this guy. And so it's going to be a co-stinker of the week for me, Marvin Harrison and Kyler Murray, because Kyler kind of absorbs that for him, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd make an argument for Mark Andrews being a kind of a stinker of the week too. Getting outshined by Isaiah Likely. only 2 targets
Yeah.
his way. Caleb Williams obviously a
2
stinker of the
targets his
week.
way is a little difficult. I'm
But
not gonna lie.
I kind of give the rookies a break though. You know, first game of their NFL careers. You know, I think that Marvin Harrison Jr. he'll hit his stride. I think, you know, Kyler Murray just hasn't had enough reps with him. He has some trusty receivers. There's veteran Dortch, who was the leading receiver for them, and also, you know, Trey McBride, who he was hot with last year, and you know, he had nine targets. He didn't make too much of a move with them, but you know, 5 catches for 9 targets, 30 yards. There's a lot of stickers.
I will make a slight note too that Aaron left Jordan Mason on his bench with 22.95 points.
Yeah.
Not that it would have necessarily helped him. I mean, he did get blown out by 40.
I mean, he the thing
50.
is though, is because it was a Monday night game though, that's what kind of killed him. Is like he couldn't put him in if he wanted to, right?
Right.
Yeah. If he would have known, since Friday like Jordan Mason did, then he probably would have had him in there.
Yeah, he just, you know, he had no idea right there. And also, you know, Chicago defense jumping for 30, nobody saw that coming.
Yeah.
So I do want to give a slight shout out to Brian Thomas Jr. You know, he went out and did his thing, 4 for 4, 47 yards and a touchdown. Nobody really expected that out of the kid, but that's a good pickup, even though he was on the bench.
Definitely.
But all in all, you know, I just don't see anything Aaron really could have done that would have made a difference here.
No, his team just kind of pooped itself. But we got, I mean, going forward though, you know, Jordan Mason, at least to start for week 2, he might, you know, he probably bench Spears for him, and you know, he's kind of hurting in the running back department, you know.
Definitely hurting in the running back department.
But he did draft 4 receivers first, so you know, he went with the four receiver strat, whereas Tamer went with the 4 running back strat that paid off for him. We'll have to see how this goes. I mean, that wraps up our week 1 here. You want to go into waivers, or should we take a quick look at our week 2 matchups?
We can take a quick look at our week 2 matchups and then go into our waivers.
All right. First match of the week, got myself versus the Havoc, Mr. Risen Morty over here. We got Dreamer going up against Dasso. Hopefully he can avenge my loss.
I would just like to point out that my game against Dassel, I currently already have a 61% chance to win.
That's you know, but Dassel's used to coming from behind, so I mean, you know, you might have to check. No, Diddy, you might have to check.
I have a 61% chance because he has no quarterback in. What happened to his quarterback? Who did he have?
Wait, what?
He has no quarterback in.
Oh, I think he dropped him already.
What did he drop?
Who was his quarterback?
Wait, go back to week 1. Who was his quarterback?
You dropped Jordan Love? You dropped him? Man.
Whoa, I'm going to pick him up.
Dropped him. All right. I like that. I like that from you, Dassel. I like that from you, Dassel.
Our pick this week, Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. Stash him. We got Tamer over here going up against Defy with a slight edge on the projections here. Probably because Defy still has Christian McCaffrey in there. Oh, he's projected. Oh, he's got projected points right as of right now, but you know, they say it's unlikely. So we'll see about that. Mr. B Piffin going up against Sick Kicks. Both of them 1-0, just like Defy and Tamer are. We'll see who comes on that. See if we could dethrone the Tamer Tots, who are on top of our leaderboard. Oh wow, they each got their own little. Avatar.
He put him on IR. He didn't drop him. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
They put him on IR real quick.
Oh, he's on IR. Okay, we do have an IR slot. We got Mr. Aaron over here. Aaron going up against Soap right now. Soap's team looking pretty high on the projected. So Tamer or Dreamer, you and Mr. Soap looking good going into week 2.
Week,
trying to avenge the 0-2. We got Medic going up against Aegon's, and they got you know, Aegon's team, man, is looking pretty stacked. I think he did get like the best grade of his draft too, right? I think Aegon's had the best grade in our draft.
Yeah, he was up there.
Let's see. Biggest blowout of the week, we had Mr. B Piffin taking out Soap. Narrows victory. Myself losing to Dassel. Aegon's putting up the most points. Soap putting the least amount of points. Tamer overachieving. Soap underachieving. Dreamer with the quarterback of the week, Tamer with the running back of the week, myself with the wide receiver of the week, and Jaden Reed, and Kyle Pitts, top tight end of the week. That started.
That started, yeah.
Kicker of the week, Jake Moody, and Chicago Bears defense of the week. So yeah, I guess we should go over to our let's go check out our trending waiver wire here. Best available players we got out here. I wonder if I could do it, if I could highlight. I don't think it'll let me put it'll let me show it with people who are on teams. Oh no, it does show it. Okay, so we got Alan Lazard trending up as one of the top waiver wire picks of the week with his 2 touchdowns.
Which, in my opinion, is well respected. Honestly, I mean, yeah. Alan Lazard, he's got a big rapport with Rodgers from the Green Bay days. With Mike Williams, Mike Williams has had problems staying healthy for like the last 4 years.
Yeah,
but when he is around, he really does put in the work. That's why I drafted him. Kind of kicking myself for that now.
We got Tyler Johnson, wide receiver for the Rams. I assume with the Puka Nacua news that he'll be number 2 in targets. He did play 65% of snaps for week 1 and caught 5 of 7 there for 79 yards. So haven't heard of him before, but he's in his 4th year, and he seems he might be the number 2 target out there. I mean, obviously Cooper Kupp's going to eat up every single target out there now, at least for the next 4 weeks. But if you're looking, if you're hurting in the wide receiver department, the one of those 2 guys might be it for you.
I mean, Tyler Johnson in one game has already gotten damn near like a third of the way to his career high.
Yeah, and they throw the ball a lot, and they throw the ball a lot in LA. So I mean, Stafford tosses that thing.
They've got a weird mixture there. Yeah. Obviously Jordan Mason, top trending up. You can expect that.
He's already rostered by a lot of people. He's 59% rostered. That's probably why he's not number 1. He would be number 1 on the list technically, but yeah, I think Mason's got to be the pick of the week with the unforeseeable future of Mr. CMC. Number two pickup of the week. Not shown on here, but I know who you want to say. Go ahead and say it.
This is my waiver wire of the week. The show is called The Hot Corner. I'm going to put him on the hot corner here. Isaiah Likely. The boy absolutely balled out. Let me go ahead and pull his stats really quick.
Yeah, I was going to
and when you look at this guy, right? And you're seeing, first of all, the number 1 tight end in the league right now, right? 9 receptions on 12 targets, 111 yards and a touchdown, averaging 12.33 yards per catch. I mean, the kid absolutely balled out. When you look at that tight end core over there in Baltimore, you're really expecting Mark Andrews to just still be that guy.
And he was really good his rookie year too, with Mark Andrews out. But I mean, with Mark Andrews returning, you expected, he would just assume the position and just keep doing Mark Andrews things. But man, Isaiah Likely, he's a beast. 6'4", 247 yards.
He's earned the right to be there.
247 pounds.
Yeah, he's earned the right to be there. He's a big guy, 6'4", 247, like you said. Out of Coastal Carolina. He's only 14% rostered and 2% started. So whoever started him got a great week. But here's the thing with Likely is I'm not cashing in on him too early, but I do think that there's a big reason why.
Mr. Harry is calling him fool's gold in the chat. He's saying he's fool's gold. Don't fall for it.
Here's the thing, though, man. It doesn't matter what wide receivers you put over there in Baltimore because Lamar doesn't care anyways. He's not throwing it.
Yeah, he's running.
But who's he throwing to? He's running the ball or he's throwing to his tight ends, and that's why Mark Andrews has had the success he had. So they're going to run a two tight end set in a lot of cases, or they're going to toss off to Justice Hill, or they're going to toss off the other way to Derrick Henry. And I think that's where you're going to see a lot of upside with Isaiah Likely. I know there are certain leagues around in fantasy, because we're not just going to talk about our fantasy, right? We're going to talk about everybody's. Mm-hmm. There are certain leagues around fantasy that run two tight end leagues. I'm in one of them personally, or 2 flex leagues where you can throw a tight end in there, and this could be an upside for y'all realistically. So, like I said, 12 targets, 9 receptions, 111 yards, and a touchdown. You can't sleep on the kid. He got
Yeah.
open against one of the best defenses, or not necessarily best defenses, but best teams in the NFL to put up 111 yards. Don't sleep on the kid. You know, this wasn't Carolina. This was the Super Bowl champions. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So just give him his respect. Give him his respect. Currently the number
Yeah.
one tight end of the league, technically.
Technically, yeah. Shoot, anybody else you got? I mean, obviously, you know, we got a lot of people that, you know, drafted some sleepers, hoping for something to happen. We got Agon's having the top 2 players being dropped this week, Mr. Jalen Polk and Blake Corum.
See, I want to give this for the sake of the show, right? But here's the thing. I've got 2 waivers sitting out there right now.
It's all right. Don't you?
Do I?
Yeah. Don't.
Do I want to give up the sauce for the sake of the show? You know?
Yeah.
I've got waiver priority 1. I'm already getting the first one.
Oh, if you're getting them, then you might as well say who
Well,
you
I'm getting the first one, but I'm not getting the second one's got to come back around to me, doesn't he?
Yep.
Isn't that how it goes?
Yeah.
And,
But not everybody
the
puts
second
in
one is
waivers,
gonna be
though.
my thing, right?
Oh, hey, you know, who's the first? Who's your guaranteed
First one is Isaiah Likely. I'm picking up Isaiah Likely, dropping Mike Will. Mike Will is just going to be too much of a hassle for me. So I am picking up Isaiah Likely now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie to you, and you know what? I'm just gonna throw it out there, and this is just my feeling. A lot of people don't even need running backs.
You like Justice Hill,
and this is my dark horse. This is my dark horse. I am all in on the J.K. Dobbins train.
Yeah. You listen to Harry, huh? You see Harry's comment? Yeah.
Nah, man. Look at my waivers right here. I'll share my screen.
No. You should want to pick up J.K. Dobbins. Is he available in our league?
Yeah, he is. I currently have Gus Edwards.
Yeah.
Currently.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
And at the end of the day, I think J.K. Dobbins is going to take over that number 1 role. He had 1 less touch for 110 more yards during that game. Yeah. I think he takes over that role.
Definitely, you might have to use him with your number 1 waiver.
You know, I'm thinking it's possible, but at the end of the day, like likely for the sake of Goddard, I think that's a good replace for me, and then I can use Goddard as, you know, a trade situation for somebody that needs a tight end.
Yeah,
whoever had Ferguson is going to need a tight end right now.
That's true. We got Mango over here asking, would you drop Addison to pick up Likely? I would. Yeah.
I think so. I think Addison is 1, he's trebled. 2, he's not the number 1 over there. I don't even think he's going to be the number 2 as soon as Hawkinson comes back. I would 100% drop Addison to pick up Likely.
Definitely.
I think the ceiling is higher for Likely.
Yeah, Likely has a higher ceiling. You know, this might be passing of the torch season for Mr. Mark Andrews. He's come off a major injury. This guy's only in his 2nd year. He balled out last year already as a rookie.
He might have to drop back into a Zach Ertz type of role. You know,
he's gonna be just like Zach Ertz, end up in Arizona a couple years later. You know. We'll see. I mean, I'm trying to think if there's any other you could scout from the waiver wire. I mean, Greg Dortch was the leading receiver in Arizona, but Dortch
is a weird one because they're going to use him in the running game, they're going to use him in the passing game, they're going to do all of that.
Yeah, Alec Pierce also caught over 100 yards, but they were 3 bombs. So I mean, like, you don't know if Michael Pittman Jr. is going to come around or Anthony Richardson really is going to be the question on potentially.
We also could talk about the fact that Puka Nacua is no longer there, so the wide receiver room in LA is going to be a thing.
Yeah, that's where the Tyler Johnson pickup.
Well, here's the thing. I actually have my eyes set on DeMarcus Robinson.
DeMarcus Robinson,
out of Florida, 6'1", 202. He's not a small guy by any means, and 4 for 7 this week with 42 yards.
Yeah, you got a few options. I feel like this happened just 2 years ago, though, when Cooper Kupp went down and everybody was picking up on I forgot who. There was a couple receivers basically on the Rams that were lesser known, and everybody was scrambling to find out who's gonna be the guy that kind of fills in that role. But yeah, you got DeMarcus Robinson, you got Tyler Johnson. There's a couple valid options. At least for the next 4 weeks.
Let's not forget though that Brandon Cooks is that number 2 in Dallas as well.
Brandon Cooks.
If Ferguson goes down,
Yeah, Brandon Cooks. I mean, yeah, Brandon Cooks is always. I feel like he's been pretty consistent. Obviously, he's more of a deep ball threat, but
I mean, he put up 8 touchdowns last year alone.
yeah, exactly. He
Was the
catches some
most in his
bombs.
career.
Adonai Mitchell looked great. You just got unlucky. How did he perform? Is that another? That's the other rookie, right? For Indianapolis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
Mitchell,
he had
one reception for 5 targets.
he had 5 targets. I don't know if he just got missed. I mean, it is, you know, he probably has some upside there. I mean,
realistically, 5 targets out of the 19 that were put up.
Yeah, second most targets behind Pittman, I think.
Yeah, and Pittman,
So-
yeah. I mean, he was only out for 64% of the snaps, so
We'll see, man. It's kind of hard, man. I think Richardson, that first game obviously doesn't tell the whole season. I mean, we'll see how much he throws the ball in the coming weeks. He does run a lot too, you know. So it might be one of those situations similar to like kind of like having wide receivers in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson.
yeah, we're gonna have to see how he settles in. I also like Michael Wilson. I'm not mad. You know, he caught that 1 touchdown early on. In fact, was it the first or the second? I can't remember. But he caught that 1 touchdown early on. You know, 1 reception for 1 touchdown, 7.5 points. But he was out there for 80% of the snaps. I think they should look his way a little more in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously in Arizona, you know, you got to feed that guy Harrison. So hopefully we'll see what happens. But this is what I'm talking about too. With the, you know, stay away from, if it's not Zay Flowers, stay away from Baltimore wide receivers, man. Because, you know, even though he got 5
Rashad
targets
Bateman,
out of
man.
Rashad Bateman was out there for 84% of snaps, man, and caught 2 balls for 53 yards. He got him a long one.
Yeah, he
Got
did.
him a long one. But even after a long one, your quarterback doesn't trust you enough to put it out there for you. And
Yeah.
like, you're 4 years in the league, you've never had receiving over 500 yards. Like, you're a Baltimore wide receiver, and I don't trust you. Never will.
Yeah, I feel that. Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it for our first week here. We got some good matchups. I guess if we were to go back to our league, it looks like Team Bikey, we are 1-1. Tamer's team is 2-0. Team Docile is 1-1. We got the Dream Team, or the Cream Team,
0-2.
0-2. And what about Team Havoc? Team Havoc is 1-1, or no? Team Havoc is,
what is that? Agons?
oh yeah, Aegon's, yeah, 1-1. And
Whose team is Aaron on?
yeah, I think Aaron's on Defy, so yeah, 1-1. Everybody 1-1. Tamer's team is 2-0, and your team is 0-2. So you're starting a little bit slow on the team race here.
Yeah, no, man.
Yeah. As you guys know, once again, shout out to Raising Cane's, Paradox Custom, Shure, and Zip Chair for sponsoring our league prize. Once again, we'll just remind you what it is. We got 1 life-size Cane's Inferno plush, some package of Cane's box combo cards, an Inferno trophy presented by Cane's, a tailgate feeding for 10, 2 Zip Chair gaming chairs, 2 Shure items, and 2 BR Paradox keyboards. All this entire package valued at over $2,000 going to the team that wins. If you're wondering and you're just joining, basically if each of us creators, part of LVI, myself, Dreamer, Tamer, Havoc, Defiant, Docile, if either one of us or our community member wins the league, then we both win. And that's kind of the format here. Obviously, when it comes to teaming up in the league, we do have it on lock when it comes to trades and making sure that they are fair and make sense for both teams involved in trades. So we don't want to, we're not, vetoing every trade, but we do want to make sure that the league is ran fairly and that, everything's nice and dandy. Week one waivers is going to be pretty important, I think. And it is only week 1. So, if you took an L this week, like myself and Dreamer, don't be too down. Don't be too down. There's a lot of weeks left in this league. Right now we have, our standings here. We're also in 2 different halves, right? Top 3 in each half, is it? Is it 6 or 8? Yeah. So top 3 for each conference, the LVI conference and the LVI community conference. We'll be moving on. Right now, me and Dreamer are on the outside looking in, but we're
Yeah, a little
gonna
bit,
make a
little
run.
bit.
Yeah, we're
All
gonna
right,
make a
Havoc's right
run.
there with us.
Yeah, Havoc's right there with us, and then we got Agon's, Mr. B, and Sick Kicks. I mean, obviously, the goal probably for each of us is honestly to have us and our community member both make the playoffs to increase our chances, to that top prize. But yeah, I mean, that's all I had. Dreamer, you got anything else for the chat, the audience out there?
Oh, man, you want me to go ahead and close it out?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, man. Well, we want to give once again a big shout out to our sponsors, of the Inferno Gridiron. Shout out to Raising Canes. Shout out to BR Paradox, the official PC sponsor of the Las Vegas Inferno. Sure, the official audio partner of the Las Vegas Inferno, and Zip Chair Gaming, the official chair sponsor of the Las Vegas Inferno. Shout out to all our sponsors. We appreciate you guys. This wouldn't be possible without you guys. At least the level of quality that we're producing. Quick shout out to the
Thank you,
ownership
Harry.
of LPI, really giving us the way to do things like this, and big shout out to our graphic designers out there, Pep and Dame. Appreciate you guys, man, because this
Appreciate
looks
you guys.
fantastic.
Definitely. And make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Turn noties on if we'll be here live every single Tuesday night for the next 14 weeks. 7 p.m.
Every
PST.
single Tuesday, man.
Every single Tuesday. So set your reminders, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
We're gonna close it out right here. This is Dreamer, my boy Bikey, man. You guys are watching the Inferno Hot Corner. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.